welcome to the Grizzled Geek and Review for May 3rd, 2019. I'm Mike.
I'm Kirsten.
And we're here with all your nerd news for the week. Doug is not with us this week. He is in California at Disneyland, enjoying things, trying to sneak in early to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
I heard they might have some stuff available to see.
They might. We'll find out when Doug gets back what he saw. If he doesn't get arrested for trying to take pictures of stuff. All right, just a little brief update. We're here with our normal weekly wrap-up of nerd news. That is about to change soon.
Yes.
As we're going to a new format in a couple weeks, guys, where instead of every Friday we're getting our wrap-up of nerd news, we're going to be live on Thursdays at 7 Mountain Time, 6 or 7 Mountain Time. We're trying to figure that out. PM. Yes, not in the morning. And we're going to be doing it more like it's going to be instead of the Grizzled Geek and Review, it's going to be the Grizzled Geek Podcast. And we'll be a little bit slightly longer, maybe about just under an hour format. We're still going to bring you the news for the week.
Right.
The same format. We're just going to have a longer discussion about it. We end up goobing about the news anyway.
Right.
Every time we film it. We're going to roll the podcast into one. We'll do it live so we can take questions, but don't worry if you can't catch it live. It'll be on YouTube the next day as normal.
Yep.
And in the weekend, it'll be up on, iTunes and Stitcher and wherever you get the podcasts normally. So you'll be able to check that out. So that's coming in a couple weeks once we get everything all figured out. All settled in. So, and once Doug gets back here.
Yeah.
All right. Now on to the news this week. Starting off with the major story, Avengers Endgame makes all the money.
Shocked.
Shocking. Now we say this about all big movies that open big, but nothing has opened as big as Avengers Endgame. Mm-hmm. It shattered records. It beat all expectations opening weekend. It became the fastest movie to hit $1 billion in 5 days.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So before the movie came out, the big question was, can it be the first movie to break 300 million domestically? A number that people didn't think we could break domestically.
Right.
But especially with a 3-hour movie with less screen time, they didn't think, or less screens. Well, with theaters running the movie, 24 hours a day, not only did we break the 300 million domestic record, we shattered it. 357.1 million.
Jeez.
Domestically. Globally, it hit 1.22 billion opening weekend. Currently, as of this recording, it sits as the 6th highest grossing movie of all time at 1.6 billion.
That's insane.
So this thing's been out for 8 days. So I mean, it's crazy. So with that massive success, it's got people asking 2 questions that no one thought would be coming up. Is it possible to hit 2 other milestones? And these are crazy milestones, but according to experts, they have a chance. First one is, can it be the first movie to hit 1 billion domestically? No movie's ever broken 1 billion domestically. That's pretty crazy. And the second thing is whether it can beat Avatar as the highest grossing film of all time. So let's break that down just a little bit for you here, see how likely that is for either one of those scenarios. The 1 billion domestically sounds crazy, but Infinity War made 2.6 times its opening weekend numbers. Average is 2.9 times your opening weekend numbers, unless you have like a giant opening weekend like these movies do, so it tends to be less.
Right.
And this is 2.6. Well, it's already outperforming Infinity War, definitely on an opening weekend, but in the Monday numbers as well. I mean, it's already made 400 million Monday through Wednesday.
Right.
So the way it's going, they're conservatively estimating 2.7 times this number. If it hits that number, that's very conservative, it would hit 964 million domestically. So
that's crazy. Within
spitting distance of $1 billion. So if it outperforms Infinity War by a lot, like if it keeps up the trend, which is already set to break records for the second week.
Right.
I mean, it could drop 57% its second week and still beat Infinity War numbers and become the best second week opening of all time.
Right.
So if it keeps those numbers up, and there's not a whole lot of competition coming out for a while, so if it keeps the same legs that Infinity War has, it could easily hit that $1 billion domestic mark,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Now, as for the other one, beating Avatar, you're like, oh man, it's already almost halfway there.
Right.
Can it possibly beat this? Well, Avatar is an anomaly. It's sitting at 2.7 billion. All right, it's 600 million higher than the next closest movie, which is Titanic.
Right.
Now 2.1 billion, which it's expected to beat that.
Sure.
It's expected to hit number 2. Number 1 was a fluke.
Yeah.
It was just one of those times where Avatar, which a lot of people don't understand it. So you look at that movie today, it doesn't hold up like it.
Right.
When it came out, it was a spectacle.
Right.
And it came out in December, and it played through April.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was.
Well, nothing comes out during that time, so.
Yeah, and they
just
didn't. They
go
were
see
releasing movies like nowadays we have blockbusters that release early in
Right.
the year. Back then they didn't.
Right.
So who knows if it'll ever beat? Anything could beat 2.7 billion.
Right.
But if anything has a chance at it,
It's definitely them.
Endgame.
Yeah.
So it has to perform extremely well in foreign markets, which it already has. It's broken records
Right.
all over the place. So if it continues that trend, if it still has a lowest drop as it's planned to here in the States, it could, we'll see what happens. It's the first movie to come along that actually has a chance at it.
Yeah. I think so.
So, but if not, it'll easily hit the number 2 spot of all time. So Endgame, last little bit of numbers for Endgame, and we'll move on just to point out how much money this thing has made. It's after Endgame's opening weekend, it's pushed Disney over the 20 billion, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that franchise is now over $20 billion.
It's just disgusting.
Let's put that in put that in perspective for you here. They paid $4.6 billion for Marvel. When Disney bought Marvel, they paid $4.6 billion. If every movie, cost, $200 million to make, they've still made $20 billion. They've
way worth it.
Oh my God, this is probably the most successful franchise in movie history, and I don't see anything topping it anytime soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. From the numbers, to give you an idea, it already hit its payback model early Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Which means everything from Saturday on is pure profit.
Right.
I mean that's including not just its production budget, but its marketing as well. So it hit payback model early Saturday. Everything else now is just pure profit for that movie.
How awesome is that gotta feel for those movie creators? Like,
I'm like, yeah, exactly.
everything you've worked for just to have that happen.
Oh
That's
my goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's going down in the history books, folks. It's an event.
Yeah.
So, but there you have it. There's all the numbers for Marvel Endgame. Impressive.
Yes.
We'll see what it can do.
So now we got to talk about what happens after Endgame. What do you do after that? What
Exactly.
do you top? How do you top that?
Now, just so you're warning here, there might be minor spoilers in this news.
Sure.
So if you haven't seen Endgame, you might want to not, check this out till after you do.
So here's what we know for the lineup for the next 3 years of Marvel. We know that Spider-Man Far From Home is coming, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, The Eternals, Shang-Chi, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and an unknown Marvel movie.
Right.
So
For the next,
that's the next 3 years.
Yeah, which is odd because, we got Far From Home coming out
July 2nd.
of this year.
Yeah.
Next year, we only have Black Widow. So there's only one Marvel movie coming out next year after this massive push. But then the other ones are coming, on its heels. There'll be Eternals and Shang-Chi.
Sure.
Which is kind of a weird choice for like a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Shang-Chi's an awesome character, but he fits more on the Netflix series type,
Sure.
than in a full movie.
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is expected to shoot next year, so for like a
Sure.
2022 release.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, and then the unknown Marvel movie. There's a lot of speculation on what that could be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything's being thrown around from a Valkyrie movie to an A-Force movie, which is all the female Avengers.
Sure.
After that scene
Right. That's true.
in that movie. And then also one of the theories is it could be Ant-Man, Wasp, and Stature. And for the comic fans, Stature is his daughter, Scott Lang's daughter in the comics. She grows up and becomes a giant
Right.
person named Stature. Now that she's grown, now that she's grown up, they could actually all three of them be
Right.
in the next movie. So
That would be cool.
Yep. So
So meanwhile, on Disney Plus, we've got Scarlet Witch and Vision, or WandaVision, Falcon and Bucky, Loki, and Hawkeye all have their own series coming out between 6 to 8 episodes each.
yeah. So these are going to be. These are all the movie actors too,
Right.
reprising these roles. They're all going to be tied into the Marvel universe.
Right.
The weirdest one, and it's one of the first ones, the WandaVision,
Right.
because it's going to be Wanda and Vision,
Yep.
set in the 50s, with the same characters.
I
So
think it'll be fun. It'll be odd,
Yeah.
though, for sure.
which means they might be leaning into her reality bending powers that she has in the comics.
I think that's the way to go, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that in order to get all the stories that we want out of it, they're going to have to make
Yeah.
something like that happen.
Exactly. Which, I'm excited to see. There was a Vision series in the comics where they were, married in suburbia,
Oh.
kind of like, kind of a picturesque kind of 50s
Right.
era. It was actually a really good series in the comics. So,
Yeah.
Falcon and Bucky,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
if it doesn't
picturing that
happen-
being like more partial spoilers. Is even though Falcon's is set up to be the next Captain America, I have a feeling that they may pass the shield off back and forth through this series.
Oh, between the two of them?
Between the two of them.
Interesting.
I think. That's my theory, because both of them were Captain America at one time or another
Sure.
in the comics. So Loki, we're always wondering how Loki's going to happen, whether it's going to be a prequel or not. But the movie gave us a chance to have
Yeah.
Loki back. And Hawkeye, that character's grown on me since he first appeared in Avengers. I'm like, I really like that character. I'm like, in the comics, I liked him a lot. If they go
Sure.
that direction towards him in the comics, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that's a lot. So there looks like more coming up on TV for Disney than there is in the
Yeah.
movies. All right. Well, those are the only two big stories we have for the day. The rest of them are all our smaller stories. Our nerd nuggets.
Nerd nuggets.
That's right. Starting off, we have Gabriel Luna will reprise his role as Ghost Rider for a new Hulu series. Now, he was Ghost Rider in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, and he was a good Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I mean, obviously, now Disney has controlling interest in Hulu.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And they can put series on there that don't necessarily tie in with the rest of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So they can be its own separate thing. Not have to worry about continuity in that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see.
We've got Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal is leaving Sony after 30 years for Universal.
Yeah, this is odd. I mean, she's produced every Spider-Man movie that's ever come out. I mean, she's got a long list of movies but now she's moving on. 30 years at Sony, going to Universal.
Yeah.
There's got to be something big planned there that she's going to be working on. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Interesting to see.
All right. So there's been some controversy over last week's episode of Game of Thrones, the Battle of Winterfell. There's a lot of people complaining online that they thought it was too dark to see anything. Now, I don't know about you. Did we able to see it?
It was dark, but like I explained before, I think it needed to be because that's how you get your audience to be as disoriented and you want them to experience what the characters are experiencing. You don't
Right.
see things, you're hearing all the chaos happening. So I understand why they went that direction, and
Yeah.
I don't fault them for it. So
Yeah, for me, it was like I couldn't see. We'd turn off all lights. We still couldn't see. There's certain scenes we couldn't see, like when Arya's going through the castle.
right.
I couldn't see anything that was going on, so we had to turn the brightness up on our TV,
Sure.
so we could actually see what was happening, who was getting killed.
Right.
For,
Who's dying?
there was that one scene where I'm like, did they all die? Is everybody
Right.
dead? I can't see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like they're all dead.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog trailer dropped this week, and it's one of the worst reviewed trailers of all time. Shocked.
that is when I heard there was going to be a Sonic the Hedgehog movie and a Detective Pikachu movie, I was kind of like, oh great, here we go, another round of shitty,
Yeah.
video game adaptation movies. And
Yeah.
then I saw the trailer for Detective Pikachu. And first I'm like, Detective Pikachu, that's just a dumb idea.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds doing the voice of Pikachu, what the hell?
Right. What's going on?
What's going on with this? And then I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay,
Get it.
it looks good. it looks good. I'm going to see that. It looks funny.
Right.
So then I got my hopes up for Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh,
right?
You should not have done that.
Oh my God. My favorite thing for this is they have someone did a video of an actual hedgehog running down the road, and they put in like gold rings for him to hit with a song with a ding ding ding. I was like, a better hedgehog. Still better than the. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it looks so awful.
It's terrible.
It looks bad. All right, so now back to a weird story. Quentin Tarantino says that his Star Trek movie is a very big possibility. You know, last year we heard Quentin Tarantino wrote a script for Star Trek, and all of us were like, "What?
But why?
Why?" I mean, that's okay. And we all kind of pass it off as, okay, he's a Star Trek fan. He wrote a script. This is never going to happen. You know, just kind of nice to think about one of these things. But he's saying that is a very likely possibility. The script is done, and he's meeting later this year to discuss the new movie after his new movie that he's got coming out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He hits theaters later in the summer.
Interesting.
So could this happen? Could we get a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie? And do we want that? Now, he's one of the greatest directors of all time.
Right.
But his movies are very his.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't lend itself to, out of all things, it doesn't lend itself to Star Trek the least, I think.
Yeah.
But
I would probably see it, to be quite honest.
You'd have to at this point. This is not like,
I think that's what he's floating on at this point, is just that people are like, I would see it. Let's figure out what that would look like.
I will see any Quentin Tarantino movie that he comes out with because it's Quentin Tarantino of what he's given us.
Right.
You add the fact that it's a Star Trek movie in there, and I'm like, okay, I have to see this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect.
Right. I don't know if I would put weight into it being great, but I would probably see it just because his name was on it.
Yeah, you're like Quentin Tarantino and Star Trek. That is something I have to see.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys. A short one this week. Does it for the news. Doug will be back next week, and then maybe the following week we'll switch to the new format.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll see what's going on with that. We'll keep you updated. We're going to do a trailer kind of promoting we're doing some changes on the channel.
Yeah.
Some shows. We have some new shows come out. Maybe you've seen this week. On the first of every month, we're going to do Grizzled and Weird. Our first episode was all about the Mandela effect. So if you're into weird stuff and wanted to have that kind of discussion, check that video out. I'll put a card in for it right up here in the corner. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you again next week. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to support the channel and the things we do here, we have a number of links down below. You can buy our t-shirts at our merch store. You can shop through our Amazon affiliate link, or you can support us on Patreon. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.